Greetings, my name is Josh LaBelle. I'm the proud Executive Director of Seattle Theater Group, and I am sitting in the historic Neptune Theater right now. We're here to celebrate her 100th birthday. What a huge thing to have a theater in this community continue to serve for what will be soon more than 100 years.
We never liked modern buildings. We liked these historic buildings. This is what we do and who we are. So of course, this building was perfect to join the other two that we have. The Neptune, when we first met Craig, was still a movie house. It was a building that a lot of people had a lot of very fond memories of. When we took over this building, the previous tenants didn't leave us very much of anything when they left the building, and I mean not much of anything. So we were actually starting from scratch when we took it over. Before we could get very far down the road, Sound Transit had decided that the building was in the way of their upcoming plan for the Link Light Rail heading north. So we called Sound Transit and we sat down and we talked. And they actually were the best. At the end of it, they said, well, I tell you what, let's see what we can do. And they worked miracles. And this historic beauty is still here today. Thank you, Thompson family, for allowing us to be a part of your history.
Hi, I'm Craig Thompson. I am 72 years old, one of the owners of the Neptune. It's 3 stories. It's almost 2 buildings. One side is the theater, the other side is offices, apartments, and retail. In the basement, there's a huge boiler that is about 7 feet around, giant boiler. We had an issue once where one of them misfired and could have taken the building down. Thank goodness my local manager was there and flipped it off at the opportune moment. It was a real fluke, and we've since replaced that boiler and we're back. Seattle Theater is in the process of putting in a heat pump as we speak. Sam and Mary Freed, my great-great-grandparents, came from Eastern Washington. They came out in an oxen cart. They had 3 children, Bee, Nettie, and Roy. They ended up at the corner of 45th and Brooklyn, which is where the Neptune is now. An awful lot of people have said, I got my first kiss there, I met my girlfriend there. It's got, some real community feel. I think that's really important. When I'm standing outside and I watch 1,000 people coming out of there, smiling and laughing and having a great time and thinking, oh, we'll come back here next week. This was fun. That's really neat. My mother would be absolutely overjoyed.
As an organization, we have dealt through some hardships during this pandemic. There's been a lot of examination that has happened during this time, and there's a lot of learning that has happened. We have spent some time learning about our own history within our own venues with the History Project that is being led by Stephanie Johnson-Tolliver. And she has engaged 2 other historians to help work on this project. In order for us to continue providing excellent programs in our community and engaging artists, elevating artists, presenting artists, we need to know our history. We need to be able to heal. Our dream as an organization is to welcome everyone. When we open our doors, we want to see different communities represented. We want to see different individuals feeling welcomed and feeling like they belong. We never want anyone to feel that this is not their home. This is the People's Theater. We have a program called Redefinition at Seattle Theater Group where we have brought various visual artists together to showcase their art focusing on racial and social justice themes, or even just art for the sake of art. This program has been running out of the Paramount Theater. However, you now get to see a permanent piece at the Neptune Theater by Mr. Joe Seymour. And as you come into the theater, you will feel welcomed by some of the artwork that's being presented there.
As an artist, it's a huge honor for me to be invited to be a part of this celebration, and for the Neptune to reach out to Native artists from the area is a huge honor. My English name is Joseph Seymour Jr. My ancestral name is Wahalutsu. I come from Squaxin Island on my father's side, which is in Shelton. In 2006, I attended a residency with Preston Singletary, Tlingit glassblower based out of Seattle. So, I kind of, buddied up with him, and he kind of became my mentor that way. So, that was, one of my introductions into the Native art world was through Preston. I first got involved with STG through the Redefinition project. My friend Tracy Rector was one of the curators for that particular project. So she gave me a call and said, can you have about 20 pieces ready to go? So yeah, a couple of weeks ago, I got an email from Sarah about the STG and then the Neptune 100th anniversary celebration. And she mentioned that she wanted a particular piece that's going to go in the entryway to the theater. And so based off of that email, I started thinking about, how can we do something that acknowledges the land? I looked at another piece I did earlier of an historical map of Olympia in the 1890s, where I superimposed a blue heron, a spotqua, over this map. And I was like, well, why can't we do something like that, but in the postcard form? And so I started looking online, and I saw this particular map of the Seattle area circa 1925. When I was working with the paint initially, I was doing the test painting on some paper, and I saw that the map was bleeding through, and I kind of like, I really like that effect. So even though you're not going to see it in the face here, but you're going to see it in the sun, you're still going to see the map through the rays of the sun, which I think is really appropriate because, it's the sunlight and it's transparent and everything should shine under the sun. So, the neighborhoods under the sun, you're still going to be able to see the definition in that. So I kind of like that about this. So, to be included in this, was a huge honor for me, and it really didn't take a lot of time for me to think, oh, well, this is a short timeline. This is going to be such a big piece. This is going to be, part of the history of the theater now.
Hi, my name is Toma Nakayama. I am a singer-songwriter based in Seattle, and I actually used to work at the Neptune Theater when it was a single-screen movie theater back in the early 2000s. I sold tickets and popcorn and was an usher during the Seattle International Film Festival every summer, and openings of big movies, and yeah, I did that for many years. And on my lunch breaks, I would sit behind that boat-shaped concession stand, and just sit on the floor with a tiny little Casio keyboard and just write songs, dream about one day playing on a big stage. And then this past year, I got to perform at the Neptune as a headliner, which was a huge thrill for me, and it felt like going home. Congrats to the Neptune for 100 years, and thank you so much to STG for taking such good care of the building that we love, and it's a huge part of Seattle's cultural history.
My name is Stephanie Johnson Tolliver. I am president at the Black Heritage Society of Washington State. Together with two cohorts of mine, Jackie Peterson and Ryan Donaldson, we were looking at all three venues to look at the history of 1900 to 1930s theater through this equity lens in Seattle. Populations in Seattle of Black people and where they were living early at turn of the century, even up to 1920, where the population was barely, 2,800 Black people, were relegated to the Central District of Seattle. And when I say relegated, there were unseen but known boundaries, geographic boundaries of the Central District. So Black folks were pushing toward that boundary, wanting to get across that boundary, live across that boundary, but found themselves in the position where realtors and bankers were uniting, and even people within certain communities north of the Ship Canal, but also mentioned Beacon Hill and Georgetown, that were saying, we want to maybe protect our community and the value of our properties. And we feel that if we open that door to Black people, but not only Black people, but other ethnic groups, that our property values would decline. I have to say thank you to the Seattle Theater Group, because it's creating this interest and curiosity for us about entertainment, theater, dance, just all of the visual arts, and how Black people were able to access them as audience performers, and all of it. So so thank you for that gift.
Seattle Theater Group has long had a real passion for programs like Nights at the Neptune that intentionally serve and involve our diverse artist community here. We had the Seattle Latino Film Festival here. We had Black Trans Magic, A Journey Towards Liberation. And one of my favorite shows that I saw, Coup X, The Magic of Noise. That's Preston Singletary's band, and it was just extraordinary. I'd also say there's something super special from an artist standpoint as well as an audience standpoint playing this theater. The fact that the stage extends beyond the proscenium and gets artists and audiences even closer together has been something that I think has been a hallmark here that is a little bit rare. That physical gap between artist and audience doesn't really happen here. We are intentionally diverse about the kind of artists and audiences that we aim to bring together. And we're also just thankful. More than 1 million people have been here. Super thankful. This has been a journey that none of us were quite certain how it would work. But I'd say it's working better than I had ever really dreamed of. And it's helped us get a little closer to our vision of being the People's Theater, a place where all are represented and welcomed. So the future will be bright, and we'll keep chasing this vision. It's a daily discipline, and we appreciate all of the support.
Hey, this is the Wood Brothers. Just had an amazing show right here at the Neptune Theater. We got so many good memories of playing this place over the years, and we hope to keep coming back.
Some of our favorite shows in Seattle have been right here. So 100th birthday, 100 years.
Happy 100.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday from the Wood Brothers.
See you 101.
Here's to 100 more years, and congrats.
Teatro Neptuno, feliz cumpleaños.
Happy 100th birthday, Neptune Theater. We love you